Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out his vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible Swiss sword. His truth is marching on.
Can a budget AR-10 be any good? Can a $750 modern sporting rifle chambered in .308 Winchester or .762 NATO by DPMS be durable, accurate, and reliable? When I think about this DPMS and firearms like it, I think about a book I read in college by a philosopher by the name of Robert Pirsig. He wrote this book called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. And if you read this book, he talking about himself, about being driven half mad by the concept of quality. What is quality? What does it mean for something to be quality or to have quality? Now that might seem silly, but when you start thinking about it, we know quality when we see it. When we have something that is quality, we know that. When we have a relationship that's a quality relationship, we're aware of that. But how do you define it? Have you tried? What is it that makes something quality? And I've sat and I've thought about this, and when I think about it, the more I think about it, I just can't quite define what quality is. That being said, my question is the DPMS LR-308 a quality firearm? In part one of asking this question, can a budget AR-10 be any good? We set out to discover this. In the first part, we sighted it in with iron sights, and we took first shots and got it zeroed at 100 and shot some groups on steel, and I was impressed with it. I really like it. It's well built. The components are good quality, and I mean in general, not just for the money that you pay. And it's fun to shoot. It's an enjoyable experience to sit down with a box of rounds and to spend some time shooting the LR-308. But any off-the-shelf firearm can perform decent in a controlled circumstances, in controlled environment. What do we mean? Well, I'm talking about with a slow rate of fire, off of a bench rest or bags, with a firearm that is clean and oiled and in perfect new condition. But for part two, what I want to know is what's going to happen in a real-world situation with this firearm? How is the LR-308 going to perform when it's not clean? I have not cleaned this rifle yet. It's dirty. I haven't cleaned it since I first started shooting it. I want to see how it's going to perform when it is dirty. How's it going to perform under a high rate of fire? Not 1 round a minute or 2 or 3 rounds a minute even, but how's it going to fire when that trigger is being pulled as fast as it can? How's it going to perform during a magazine change at high speed? Is the gun going to function correctly? Am I going to have any slowdowns? Are there any hiccups in it? So I was able last week to get out with this rifle, took it to the farm, and between time and weather and whatnot, I had time to run one test. And that test was very simple. To dump 2 magazines, that's 40 rounds, in rapid fire and to see how the rifle performs. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the video so that you can actually see the rifle being fired at a high rate of speed, and then we'll come back here for some observations. Clear. On safe. So the ammunition that was used for this test was the Freedom Munitions 147 grain remand ammunition. I love Freedom Munitions products. They have a great price and it performed very, very well. Personal protective equipment I was using were my soft cover, iPro, my ESS crossbows, and the gloves with the mechanics impacts. Gun generates a lot of heat in a rapid fire situation. Got to protect your hands. The maintenance performed prior to this test. The only thing I did was oil the bolt. I used the Lucas gun oil and I wetted the bolt down real good before putting it back in. No other cleaning has been performed on this weapon yet. Observations performed during this test. Malfunctions. Failure to feeds, failure to fires, misfeeds, double feeds, none. No malfunctions of those sorts. What I did notice is the mag release. The mag release was hard to manipulate with a gun on, with gloves on, to manipulate it in such a way as to get the magazine to actually come free. With gloves on, it was very hard. I was fumbling, and I actually even had to use both hands in order to get the magazine removed. That slowed me down. That bothers me. The magazine being used was the PMag, and I've never had problems with PMags. I don't think it's a problem with the magazine. I think it's mostly a problem with the magazine release. Very much going to consider installing an extended release because if you can't perform a magazine change quickly, that's a real problem. I intend to, after this test, I'm going to perform some more tests, dropping magazines, just trying that with the different magazines, seeing how it performs with and without gloves, and seeing what maybe I can change to make that better. I'm going to clean it very thoroughly now. The first time it's going to be clean, going to run a lot of copper solvent through the barrel, going to clean it out, get the dental picks out, pick all the carbon out of the chamber, out of the star chamber, out of the receiver. Going to disassemble the bolt and give it a thorough cleaning as well before reassembly. Because the next test, I want the rifle to be clean. We're going to be testing the inerrant accuracy of this weapon. I'm going to be installing this next week a high-quality optic on a high-quality mount. I'll tell you more about what those are in the next video. And then we're going to take it out and start zeroing it and shooting some groups. Going to zero it at 25 meters and then at 100 meters and then start shooting some groups at 100 meters and 200 meters. And we're going to see what kind of accuracy we can get stock out of this weapon. I hope that you'll stay tuned for that and be looking forward to it too. It's good to be making videos again. I had a long time out. Our lives changed quite a bit in the last year. Had to move, relocate, and finally able to start making some videos again. Looking forward to it. I've enjoyed getting to shoot this one, even though it's short, and there's going to be more to come in the near future. Get out and enjoy your Second Amendment rights. Remember that your rights are guaranteed by the Constitution. They're not granted by the Constitution. The rights are already yours. But do your part to make sure that your rights aren't infringed upon and that we stay free in this great country. Thank y'all. Have a great day. We'll see you again soon.